He's in there. He's in Curry's. Oh yeah, I'll have a TV. I'll have some Litler stuff. Yeah, of course. Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
You're absolutely right. Tungsten is literally, Matt, going up daily. It's become like gold. Matt, this time tomorrow, I'm going to be on my way to see you. We're going to be filming that new series of Rate Maki. I cannot wait. Hello, Matthew. Welcome back, everybody. Episode 76 of the podcast. I'm in a slightly different area, kicking it back in my chair today. Moved the camera. Really excited, but I've got to get it out of the way, Matt, because it's on my mind. 5,000 views on YouTube podcast last week, but we've only got 2,000 subscribers. So if you're watching us on a regular basis, please, please, please hit the subscribe button now. You've no idea how much that helps us when we go to our bosses and we want more money to bring on guests and various other things. Please do hit the subscribe button. Massively appreciate it. Matt, how are you?
The usual. Nothing really changes at the moment. It's still January, isn't it? So times are busy, but times are exciting as well. So yeah, everything's good this end to a degree. It's just I could do with a few extra hours.
And the one thing I forgot to mention, and of course, knowing you haven't reminded me, I won the second £5 bet, didn't I, in the World Championship? You kept that one quiet. Remember, you were £5 up, and I said, well, I'll have Jan Van Veen, and you went, all right, I'll have Luke Humphries.
Oh, yeah, quarterfinals.
Jan Van Veen beat him, yeah. So we ended up all square, which I kind of thought, had I lost that, you'd have asked me for the tenner at least 15 times by now. So
oh, no,
I
forget, I'm terrible. Terrible one, yeah.
So anyway, we've got lots and lots to talk about as per usual. Loads of comments, by the way, this week. We will get to those. Please do keep those coming, guys. Emails to youtube@missiondarts.com. Let's kick it off. £20 million, Matt, to a dart player over 10 years. Could we have ever seen that coming?
Yeah, I'm surprised it's only 20.
Oh, yeah, I was going to ask you that. Do you think it's enough or not enough?
I mean, let's be, let's use our industry-wide heads here. This isn't just 20 million. This is 20 million plus, or 20 million basic, or however you want.
Basic salary.
There's going to be some form of royalties or some sort of staircase in payment in this structure, because if he goes and sells £50 million worth of darts in the first year, he's going to want a slice of that. Of course he is. And the way that Luke's darts sell, I can't go anywhere where I don't see Luke's. I go in Sports Direct to get my finest, and he's there. I go in Curry's because we move in house and we want to look at the furnitures and the fixtures and fittings. He's in there. He's in Curry's. Oh yeah, I'll have a TV. I'll have some Litler stuff. Yeah, of course. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. He's in the toy stores. You know, I go into the toy stores to have a little look around, get some Pokemon cards. Which, by the way, guys, if you do want to send some in,
I'm always a Pokemon card.
Yeah, it's in there.
Literally is everywhere.
Everywhere he goes.
Literally is
and
everywhere.
That to a brand, especially in a niche sport like darts still is. And yes, it's coming out the other side of that, but it's still classed as a niche sport. It's not a mainstream sport yet, but it's getting there. Now, with that in mind, that contract is worth every single penny, because not only have you got extra sales there that aren't just to dart shops, you've got high street stores nationwide. That Curry's I went into was one Curry's of probably about 400 Curry's across the country that have all bought stock. So, and that is not just sales, that is brand awareness, that is recognizability, that is almost authority of a brand, because if you see it everywhere, ultimately that must be the best, right?
So yeah, and I kind of agree with you. £2 million a year sounds like a lot. It sounds like a lot. I know how much profit there is in darts. It's not like golf where a set of golf clubs these days, a good set's like $2,000. You know, you're spending a lot of money and you can get that back. You know, a set of dart. Okay. So here's my worries. Companies don't give away money. They know that it's an investment and they're going to get that back. Do we start to see darts creeping up till we get to a level where an uncomfortable level? If we start paying £200 for a set of players' darts that aren't a limited edition, I'm a bit uncomfortable with that. It was a tenner a set when you and I started. So there's that. So I'll give you a two-part question and then leave you to answer it. So that's my first question. You know, how far do we have to push the price so they get that money back? The second question is there any world in your mind where Litler isn't in the top 5 in the world in 3 to 5 years' time?
Okay. So, first of all, the price of darts, as we know, is going to increase due to the tungsten.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that any brand are doing this before anyone tries to misquote me on this one, but I do believe that some organizations will probably use this to inflate or mask inflation of prices. Absolutely. That's inevitable with any industry. But do I see a way to recoup 2 million in a year? Absolutely. I mean, we know what Luke's darts sell at and the rate and the volume they sell at. He's won a world championship again. You can't tell me there's not going to be a Luke Litler second 2-time world champion edition dart. Absolutely there will be, and 100% there should be, because darts is moving in a direction with collectors, with members. I'm a collector. I'm a member. Now, anyone out there who goes, it's a money grab, it's this, that, the other, doesn't understand the collector's mindset. And if you don't understand the collector's mindset, my statement to you is don't comment. Because as a collector, I would value nothing more. I'm not a massive darts collector. I have been with Mission, but the Mission brand. I've got loads of Mission darts. Down the side here, it's all Mission darts. And because I'm connected to Mission, and I have that, to me, that intrinsic value is in these products. Because these products, to me, are important, because these are the ones that float our brand. So it's important to me. I collect WWF Hasbro wrestling figures, graded. And I pay a lot of money for graded figures. I bought 5 the other day. Eye-watering amount of money for graded figures. But that's because they was the toys I played with when I was growing up. So as a collector, you put so much value on something that can timestamp you to a moment. I have a belt here signed by Hulk Hogan that was given to me when I wore that shirt at the World Championships. And that, to me, that belt is irreplaceable, because that belt represents that win at the World Championships. And to a collector, the opportunity to have something that, if you're a Luke Litler fan or a brand fan or whatever you are, if you've got the chance to have that, you will pay whatever that ticket price is. If it's 400, 500, 600 pounds, it doesn't matter, because you want to be one of the 200 or the 501 people that had the Luke Litler, and you'll never throw them. They're not to be thrown. They're to go in a nice glass cabinet, like the one in my, well, not in my background, you can't quite see it, but they're to go in a nice cabinet and stay there and to be enjoyed. And with that, yeah, absolutely. I mean, how much? You can crunch numbers very, very quickly. Let's say there was 495 and they did 501 sets. How much is that?
25 grand.
It's more than that, isn't it?
How much? Oh, £495. £500 a set. Yeah. 500 sets.
500 sets. Well, there you go, straight away. There's quarterback. And that doesn't include probably the matching dartboard case around and everything else that come with it. And this isn't me, this isn't a knock. Like, if for me, this is where I think Mission, I think we got it wrong. The Mike De Decker World Grand Prix darts, I think we got that.
Yeah.
They're on the resale market now for 3 times the price.
Yeah. Super. But again, that's Mission. We've always been known as that great value brand. We don't overcharge. I'd hate to see that change. I can touch briefly on, you're absolutely right. Tungsten is literally, Matt, going up daily. It's become like gold. There's literally a price now that moves every day, and it's getting obscene. The cost to produce a set of darts has trebled in the last 3 years. Trebled. Now, we can't treble our retail price. You can't suddenly go, Matt Edgar darts that were 50 quid and now 150 quid. So you've got, some of it's got to be absorbed. You've got to, find different ways to do things. But I worry about it, because you can't, it's not like we can go, oh, well, don't worry about it. We'll start making them out of brass. Don't worry. We've plenty of brass. We can't do that. People want tungsten. We can't go, oh, don't worry about it. We'll start using iron. Well, we can't. It's got to be tungsten. So we're almost being held to ransom a little bit by the Chinese market. And I'm sure a lot of people will say, well, the world of darts has got what's coming to it then, if everything is bought through China. But the price of tungsten billets has gone so high. You'll be well aware that we've been asking for those 72 gram darts to be made. Okay, and I've gone backwards and forwards. We wanted to get some made. We know they weren't legal, but people have watched us use them and go, oh, I'd love a set of them. Even, again, collectors, heaviest dart in the world. Why not? I've got a set. To actually produce those 3 barrels, Matt, no case, no stems and flights, just the barrels, £60. Then you've got to ship them here, put them in something, make a profit. There'd be 200 quid a set. No, that then puts it out of the novelty. Oh, I'm not going to pay 200 quid for something I can't really use, and blah, 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 blah. I just wanted to have a bit of fun with it. So the raw cost of tungsten is just got silly.
I think you've hit another nail on the head there, in a sense, because I don't think the problem is the fact of the price. I think that the problem is consumer habits until 2026. You've touched on it yourself. You remember a day darts for £10, but you've also said you also expect a golf club to be £2,000. So if you see a golf club for £2,000, oh, that's perfectly normal. That's expected. The consumer right now doesn't expect to be paying £200 for a set of darts or £100 for a set of darts, to the point where every time a set of darts comes out, I track social media and I follow all these online groups, and I see everyone straight away. When did darts become normal to be £70, £80? The working man game gone? No, the working man's game's still there. It's just relative to 2026, which is an issue. And like you say, that dart at £200, that's just absorbing that cost. That's not absorbing the cost of a player's contract as well that you need to pay. Which was the point was originally on, I suppose. And just to conclude that point, I think the contract is perfect for the brand. I think it's perfect for the player. I think your other part of the question is, there ever a world he's not in the top 5? I don't think as an active player. I think if he ever comes out the top 5, I don't think he plays. And by that, I mean, I think he'd have retired by the time he comes out the top 5. I don't see a world he's never in the top 5. But I don't see a world. The only reason
I asked that, and I value your opinion on that. And the only reason I asked it really is because, could we have seen not that long ago a world where Michael van Gerwen wasn't? I mean, I think he is 5th, isn't he? But or 4th, is he? But so he potentially could go out of the 5. But darts to me seems like more and more young lads coming through. We've seen them on TV. We've seen the Mitchell Lorries of this world, who's the teenager. He's like not much older than my daughter. He's like, Is there a world where all of a sudden we get a dozen teenagers as good as Luke Littler? Potentially not this year, but in the next couple of years, because darts does boom that much. I'm seeing more and more kids coming for precisions with their dad. The dad's like, look, he can play a bit. I want him to get the right set of darts, and maybe he's not into English and maths, and he's not, but he loves his darts. He'll do 3 hours a night. This could be his career. Do we see more of that, and do we see an explosion in young, talented dart players?
I'm going to sidebar this very quickly into something that I want to speak quite fondly of, or quite passionate about, shall I say. I agree. I've seen a lot of this. So I get a lot of people right now for coaching, and I've got a lot of people booked in. I see a few people in the comment section that are coming. I hope you're looking forward to it. I'm booked up now pretty much till mid to end April, and that is solid through. I'm getting a lot of people turn up, like you say, not just boys, girls as well, from 13, 14, 15 years old, come with the dad. There's a couple of things I want to touch up on this very, very importantly. First of all, I had someone turn up to a session and they wanted to wait in the car while the son came in. I was like, no, you need to come in as well. It's under 16. Don't want to be here by myself with it. And also, what I talked to him about, he will then try and recall that to relate to you. I'd rather you just hear it firsthand. So that's the first thing.
Okay.
The second thing is, if you are looking for a coach for your son or daughter, please do look very much at the person who is going to be giving you the information. So what's very, very important to remember is, when you go for coaching, you are not going to listen to a syllabus. You are not going to get information gurgitated at you. You are going to learn off of this person. Now, there's a relationship that has to form there, and you're going there because you want to learn. The other person, their job is to teach you something. Now, how I teach something to Andy is going to be very different, because he's a 50-odd-year-old man who has a different level of understanding. When you deal with a teenager, there is a different learning style that needs to happen so that that person can learn. I can't deliver the sessions the same. So with that, make sure you go to somebody who understands how you learn, because you're not going to listen to information, you're going to learn. So with that in mind, how does that person make sure that your child is learning? Because otherwise, what's the point? You might as well just watch some videos on YouTube. So be
of which
very,
we've done
very
plenty.
careful. Yes.
Yes.
But my
that's
word,
not for you.
It's so... I see a lot of things, and I'm getting a lot of people, just like I am with adults. We took them to this person.
Yeah.
They don't really know what they're doing. Thanks.
Unfortunately, with anything, when it grows to a level, people go, oh, yeah, I can help them out. Yeah, I can do a bit of coaching on the weekend, on a Saturday. Bring him over to me. I've played darts for 5 years. And they give them a lot of bad advice. But yeah, moving on from that, you mentioned YouTube. You mentioned our channel. I'm excited. Why do you think I'm excited for this week, Matt? What are we doing this week?
You're excited.
I am.
I'm not.
Jake's excited. I'm excited. Are you excited?
No. Because it means I've got to put up with him again, nitpicking and finding issues with everything.
Yeah, it's Rate My Oche time. Fantastic. Now, there'll be people listening to this, new listeners going, what on earth are you on about? Go on our Mission YouTube channel, or just search Rate My Oche Darts on YouTube. You'll find us. I think we've done 4 series already.
Don't watch series 1.
Yes, yeah. Unless you want a really good laugh. It's the new series. We're starting this week. It's going to have some changes. We're going to do some revisits, Matt. That's exciting. Places that you've gone, oh, they've had a makeover. Right, let's get back in.
Oh.
Yeah, so we're doing that along with we're filming some more new content. There's going to be a new series coming out on YouTube to help you guys improve at home, to make you better dart players. So we're doing that as well. But I'm super excited. I'm to coin a phrase that gets used a lot these days. I'm stoked. I'm stoked for the new series, Matt.
Yeah, and do you know what Do you know what I really like about Rate My Hockey? The blurred lines. There's always those, and I see it all the time. I see it even in the podcast comments when people go, "Do Matt and Andy really not like each other? Do they really argue?" Like, and what I like about it is the fact that you just don't know.
No,
That's
no.
do I really dislike Andy? I mean, probably 6 out of 7 days, probably yes. But I give him Sunday off. But yeah,
Do we argue? Yes, we do. Are the arguments real? Sometimes they are, because we do clash a lot. But yeah, no, we couldn't do it and spend as much time together as we do if we didn't get onto a certain aspect. And people that have known our journey for 2 years now will see quite a few similar. That's a difficult word to say. Similarities in our personalities. Let's just put it that way. So yeah, Rate My Hockey. We're starting filming it again this week, which means hopefully February will be the new series. If you've been with us since the start of the journey, you'll be super excited, I'm sure, to learn that the new series has come out. And if you've never seen it before, go and check it out. You might enjoy it. There's going to be some new categories, going to be some new banter, and we'll leave it at that.
I tell you what, there's a point to interject very quickly here, because I like to put my life philosophy into the podcast at times. I think there's probably a great life philosophy that we can share in regards to even star interaction. I mean, we bicker and we argue, and then the second like we get towards the end of like the conclusion, it's almost like we've almost got football pitch mentality. You know, where like they're on the pitch and like, I hate you, sliding into tackles. As soon as the whistle goes, cheers, mate. Yeah, well played. And we're having sausage and chips and the pint. And it's like, but I think the thing to remember this, whether it's your partner, whether it's work, whether it's a friend, if you are arguing over an outcome, it's probably because you care about the outcome and you've got a common goal in mind that you want something to succeed. Because me and Andy don't argue over anything other than what we think is best for the channel. So
yeah. True.
And we understand that we argue for that reason. So what we end up doing is once we've got to the end of it, it goes, but we only doing this because we care about the chat, and then it like ends everything. That's it. All that animosity's gone because it's like, it was all meant to be for the right reason. And just whenever you're arguing and you're arguing your missus over something daft or whatever it is, just what are we actually arguing about here? And I bet you're arguing because you want the same thing. It's weird.
There you go. Free marriage advice as well there from Meg. You don't normally get that in the podcast. Before we leave the world of darts, we can't not speak about a 6-month ban. Dom Taylor, 6-month ban, Matt. Is it enough? Is it too much? I don't think it's enough.
I don't want to use the expression laughable, but yeah, I'm not in agreement with it. It's when you think about this now being a second offence, when you think about the fact it brought the greatest tournament in the world into disrepute, when you think about the fact that it meant that a player had to get a bye to the third round of the tournament, which again will impact rankings.
Was harsh on Oscar Lakuziak, obviously, who he'd beaten in the previous round. Yeah, mission player. Yeah.
You know, when you start doing this, there's a lot of people involved. When you think about the sponsors that was let down by it, when you think about the bad publicity the sport got off the back of it, there's a lot that goes into that. Now, because the suspension was in place, it meant he couldn't go to Q School, which means a 6-month ban isn't going to be any more than you've missed Q School this year, so you can't play a Challenge Tour or the Pro Tour, which was what it was already. There's nothing on top of this. Now, I am not I am 100%. So the school I used to work at, we had a restorative practice. That was our thing. We was a restorative school. But with that, there was also a moment of reflection, shall we say. I don't think there's a moment of reflection here, because that period of time is just a crossover of the original investigation, because it's not going to go over another season. I would have been happier if they'd have said 12 months, because 12 months would have meant another Q school.
Yeah.
Would have been missed. So that would essentially be a 2-year ban, even though they can put another one. Now, what I do really like is the fact that he has had to engage in a rehabilitation program, because there's clearly a problem. 100% there's a problem. You don't make that mistake here. You don't risk that if there's not an underlying problem, and you don't do it for a bit of fun. You do it because there's an addiction or there's a need. So that's been addressed.
It was
great.
I think they've come out and said it was recreational. It wasn't used during the World Championship, but it was picked up on a test because it was still in his system. That's still no excuse for me. There is clearly an issue. Like you say, there's clearly an issue that needs addressing. And my only thought now is, what happens if he comes back and it happens again? That has to be game over, surely.
Yeah, you can't, especially with, there's always an argument, isn't there? You're speeding in your car. What's the first thing you get? Speed awareness test. Maybe you didn't know.
Yeah.
Maybe you haven't had any driver education for 20 years. Let's give you that first. After that, no choice. There's your fine. There's your points. There's your fine. There's your points. And so on through the system. So with that, I'm 100. I'm all for education, rehabilitation, because imagine that. Imagine if darts was able to be used as a vehicle to change this person's life. That'd be great. And it's been done in the past. I don't think she'll mind me saying it, because she spoke openly and candid about it herself to try and avoid other people going down the same road. But Trina Gulliver had the same sort of issues, but with alcohol. And she had that rehabilitation series. And look at her now. She's thriving. She's playing darts. She's working within the darts industry. You know, she's happy. There's no reason Dom Taylor can't come out the other side of this and have a successful career and be used as a inspirational story. Chris Mason.
Yeah.
There was a point in time Chris Mason was almost frowned upon within the darts world. Now, people try and have a pop at Chris Mason, and he's defended by more people than the ones that... When people go and find his past and screenshot something. I saw it the other day on Twitter. They found something in his past when he got the ITV gig again. And they went, oh, look, Chris Mason. And everyone was like, mate. And there was about 100 comments of people that are like, people can change. He's turned it around. You shouldn't be looking at the things he got wrong. You should be looking at how he reacted to the things he got wrong. We don't know what that is for Dom Taylor right now. So right now, the jury's out. But what I will say is, should he be able to come back to the sport, be completely clean, do drugs tests and pass them with no issues on a regular basis, this shouldn't be dragged up for his whole life. This should be brought up as a, look at this person who was able to turn it around, because Chris Mason is such an inspirational story. He's got his own bar now. He's working on ITV. He's very well respected within the industry. And would you have thought that 20 years ago? Probably not. So Dom Taylor should be judged on the flip side.
Yeah, agree. Yeah, he's got his time. He'll do his time. He needs to come out the other side knowing it's last chance saloon. I've sorted my life out. I'm going to be an inspiration to other, and I'm going to make a career of this. And the opportunity for all that is right there in front of him now. So I hope he does. And I hope this time next year we're talking about him with his tour card, cleaned his life up, you know, going on to great things.
I've commentated on Dom Taylor a lot, right? So that's Dom Taylor the person. Dom Taylor the dart player is top 32 potential.
Okay.
I haven't seen scoring power in him that is scary, consistent scoring power, and he is potential top 32. Now, would he be near enough there already? Had he had 2 World Championship campaigns, 2 Players Championship campaigns, things he qualified for but missed out on? I mean, we know he'd have been in the top 64 without 1 Players Championship and 1 World Championship on there, and was still in another World Championship. And that was ongoing. And he was in the top 64 already. And that's with a ban of other Players' Championship events. So it'd probably be about world number 40 right now if it wasn't for these issues. We are dealing with a serious operator. Let's not make the same mistakes that we've made in the past and miss out on world-class operators, because although we've got the inspirational stories of the likes of Chris Mason that have turned it around, we've also got the unfortunate stories of the likes of Corey Cadby.
Yes, which we've spoken about many times. One thing I wanted to get people's comments on, Matt, I'm just chucking it out here halfway through the podcast. In about 20 weeks' time, we'll be hitting episode 100. And I'd like to do something special. So I'm just going to chuck it out there now, because it'll come around very, very quickly. Anybody's got any kind of amazing idea what Matt and I could do for episode 100, just drop it in the comments and let me have a read, and we might read the best ones out. And I'll mention this again as we go on weeks and weeks and weeks, but I'd definitely like to do something special, because we didn't think we'd get to episode 10 and we're at 76 now. So yeah, chuck that in there. It's time for Rant of the Week. My favourite bit, Matt's favourite bit. Not sure you're going to like mine this week, because mine's about schools. And I know you are a teacher, and I'm sure we've got lots of teachers listening, people involved in schools who are going to go, right, that's it. Not listening to Andy anymore. He's had a go at schools. My rant isn't so much at teachers or schools. It's more at the people behind them. So shall we call it the education
Governors.
board?
Are we talking school governors, or are we talking
more the people that are responsible for what the teachers teach?
Are we talking local authority or even higher, like educational board?
Higher. Yeah,
educational board.
But anyway, okay. I'll give you my rants, because it's come up this last week. The 2 rants, and they're both about schools. So the first one is about Parents' Evening, of which I went to last week. And you might be aware these days, you book in, you get 3 minutes with your teacher, then you move on. It's like speed dating. It's flipping mental. Not that I've ever done speed dating, but I can imagine.
Hey.
So yeah, exactly. So I was going round thinking, and maybe I'm wrong to be thinking this, but I was thinking, at what point do we start at school teaching a little bit about finances? You know, you and I are both quite conscious of finances and making sure we've got the right amount coming in and going out, and mortgages and loans, all this sort of stuff. So I thought, well, it's got to be the maths teacher, surely. It's got to be the maths guy. So I went to see the maths teacher. I was like, I just wondered, at what point do we start teaching about how you run a household and how you look after your finances? And she was like, oh, I think that'll be Mr. What's his name in computing. All right, okay. So I go and see him. He's like, no, it's not in the curriculum. It's not in the curriculum at all. It's not in any subject to teach people about finances. And I was like, that's ridiculous. So then I start talking to somebody else about food tech, which is basically cookery. And that is no longer compulsory. So you can opt out of that. And if you want to do Spanish instead, or art or whatever,
it's an option,
you don't have to do food tech. So I'm like, the 2 most important things that I've come out of school with, and that's a long time ago, obviously, I'm 55 this year. One, that I can look after my finances and I don't get into debt, and I know that I've got the right amount of money coming in and I know how to pay my bills. The second is that I can feed myself so I can live. And we don't teach either of those things at secondary school. That is ridiculous.
Now,
so you come out with a history GCSE or a flipping PE GCSE, brilliant. That's going to help you in the rest of your life, isn't it? But nothing to do with finance or cooking. That's my first rant. I'm not happy about it. Give me your thoughts.
there's a lot to this, and I'll be able to shed a lot of light on it. So by this, I'm guessing you've got a quite intelligent, high-performing daughter.
Yes, I'll say yes.
Yes. So because of that, they won't teach those. So like, if your daughter was in a low set, like a bottom set or SEN, then they go to like functional skills, life skills. Life skills are things exactly what you talked about. So for example, we would give them a list and we'd say, this week you've got to buy these ingredients, and they'd have to work out a shopping list. They've got £10. They go to Tesco's. They've got to know what change they're getting and all this stuff. So yeah, there's absolutely those sort of programs. They learn how to change oil in a car. They learn how to put shelves up. They learn how to basically function in a world that's practical, because they don't have that educational brain. So they don't have that sort of thing where I can sit down and I can read books and I can learn this way, and I'm a visual or an audio learner. So they go, right, what's a kinesthetic learning thing? And they do all of that stuff. So they'll make food, but they'll do it only using fresh ingredients. They don't use like packs and things. They go, right, what can we make with vegetables? What can we make with fruits? What can we make with this? So absolutely all that stuff exists, but not at the end of the school that you're dealing with. Now, where I have an issue with your end of the school you're dealing with, which is exactly why I stopped working in the education system, is because there are two main ways in which we learn, right? We've got fluency, do something and learn about something on repetition until you know its functionality. Mastery, a deep understanding of task. Example, I'm going to teach you about this pen lid today. So this pen lid goes on the pen. The reason you do that is just to stop it from drying out. Okay, great. Do you understand that? So the pen goes on the pen lid, stops it drying out. Brilliant. You've understood it. We'll move on, because you know that goes on there because of that. Now, actually, in 6 months' time, are you really going to remember exactly that? And after you've learned loads of the other things. So what you end up doing, you start forgetting things, which is why we give you study leave. Now, if I would have said, this pen lid goes on there because it stops it drying out. When you finish, you can put it on the back of the pen because it fits on there. Oh, the other thing about the pen lid is you can use it to clip it onto your shirt. So now you're understanding different functions that it's got. Oh, by the way, you don't put it on a pencil. There's no reason to put it on a pencil because the pencil's made out of lead. So there's no reason of putting that on because it's not going to dry it out. So that's just putting a lid on. You can still clip it on your shirt, but it's not going to help the functionality of the pencil. And the other thing, if you put it on the other side, it's probably going to damage the rubber. So actually, by bringing it from loads of different directions, you understand not just the reason as to how it works, but why it works. And it's the why. The why.
But the thing is, Matt, whilst yes, she is like you say, that wouldn't necessarily apply to the level that she's at, and I take it upon myself to teach her how to cook at the weekends, and we talk about finance. She gets pocket money. I pay it into her account so that she can see what she's got and whether she's got any to spend this month and blah 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 blah. So I'm obviously helping with a lot of that, but there's kids in her year that can't make a sandwich.
Okay, I'll give you the brutal answer. I'll just give you the brutal nature of the answer. That there, what I've just described with the pen, that is fluency versus mastery. I went into our head teacher and I said, I am fed up of fluency. I want to start teaching mastery. The answer I was given was, Matt, we are only judged on the outcome of the test and our delivery. Our delivery as fluency will still get us an Ofsted outstanding. And if our test marks start dropping, that's where we have a problem. Your daughter isn't going to school to learn. Your daughter is going to school to answer a paper at the end of her year period.
Yeah,
She
I
needs
agree
to
with
pass
you.
her GCSEs. She is not going to school to learn. They are not giving her the education of life. Now, the reason those other children are doing it is because they are not going to boost the grades. So they give them life skills. So they learn life. Your daughter is well and truly, she's going to add to our grades. We need to add her in. So that's the issue you're facing. Now, as a school, their attitude will be, we can't teach her everything. We're going to give her the education. We're going to give her the grades. If you wanted to learn about budget and managing, go teach her about budget and managing. That's not our job.
Yeah, which is what I do. All right, moving on to my second rant about the school then. And this has got to be a sign of the times. And I don't know whether I'm showing my age here or what. But literally, I know you got a bit of snow down south. We got a sprinkle. That's all you can describe it as. It was a sprinkle. There was not even enough to make a snowball, right? We get this sprinkling of snow. Immediately, there's an email from school just to let you all know, if this freezes overnight, school will be closed tomorrow. Don't send your kids in school. Buses won't be working. School. And I'm like, is this a joke? Like, there's less than a centimetre of snow. If it freezes, great. Think how far we can skid. Do you remember we used to go to school? There's some ice over there. Let's see who can skid the furthest. Oh, let's get the sleds out. Oh, don't go. It used to be more like, don't walk on the pond because you might fall through. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, that's sensible. But nobody stops us going to school. Now, tiny bit of snow and ice. Oh, school's going to have to close. What's that all about?
Okay. Follow-up question then, because this is the great thing about these. So, follow-up question. Back when you went to school, how many of you or your classmates got dropped off via car?
Half, maybe.
I mean, that's a lot. I mean, when I went to school, like, we never even had a car park
in
full of
the middle of
cars.
nowhere. So, yeah, I'm going to say half. But, yeah, I think I know what you're getting at. Yeah, it was a lot more walked or biked.
I used to walk by myself when I was in year 3. Like, walk to school and back. Yeah, not a problem. Here we go. Lovely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that
I
would
see
be
what
my
you're getting at.
thing. Like, there's a lot more people now that, I mean, back then it was like,
But there's no way the roads weren't drivable. That's my point.
No, yeah.
There's no way you couldn't have driven on that much snow and ice. Of course you can, unless you can't. I mean, God help us. God help us out. To be honest, it all winds me up, the whole thing now, Matt, because I remember the last year at primary school when it was, there's just to let you know, there's no first, second, and third today. Everybody's getting a participation award. I mean, don't get me started on that. Like, you don't want to be the fastest runner. Just take part. What? Guess what? When they leave school, Matt, and they go for an interview, not everybody gets the job. It's not, oh, thanks to all 30 of you for coming. We've found a job for all of you. It's whoever's the best will get the bloody job. But now we're teaching them you don't have to be the best.
That's changing. That is changing quite a lot. So there are people that still want the participation medal to exist, but there are a lot of studies that have gone into the participation medal that actually discredit everybody, because one thing is, on the day, everyone loves their medal, but actually what they found is the children that had a participation medal who lost actually have an attachment of guilt and resentment to the medal as they get older, because they know they didn't earn it and they know they finished last, and it symbolizes negative. So there's a lot of studies that are going into to completely cancel participation medals for that reason. And what they're saying now is the better thing to do is to make sure that you are filtering and staircasing your events. So high performers against high performers, low performers against low performers, mid-range against mid-range. So you've got a competitive race.
Makes sense.
Don't put a donkey with a thoroughbred horse. Let the donkeys race the donkeys, and then the winner of the donkeys gets a medal. Great. And it's that same thing. Barry Hearn famously said, and I never forget it, sometimes 2 donkeys make the best race. And that is exactly it. It's not a great race. I use in my commentary a lot the words between a darts game and a darts match. So if I played Jody right now, that is a game of darts.
Yeah.
Right. If I go up against
Play me, it's a match.
I'm going to say Luke Litler, and it'd be a match because it's two people of equal ability going against each other. Yeah. So it's just we've got to make sure that we're making matches rather than races or games. And
like it.
As things move forward, we're starting to realize that was the wrong way. But yeah, there was so. I mean, I was never a fan of participation medals. I'm very much on the get rid of participation medals. Let's say just because you turn up, well done. No, you need to do more than show up. Showing up is one big tick, but then what happens when you show up? Because that's where we're getting so many people sitting in the safe spaces.
We are. Right. Have you any rants, or are we on to quiz time?
I think you probably ranted enough there.
Yeah, let's do it. Matt, you got 75% last week on the little mini quiz I did. I'm hoping to get over 25 myself this week because you've got one for me.
Well, I
Is
haven't
it
got
any
one
easier
for
than
you.
normal.
So
you haven't.
Normally, I come up with a quiz, and I'm always told by you it's too hard. So all I've done is I've just Googled darts trivia quizzes, and I found 250 questions and answers. So we'll go through some until you're bored. Yeah. Right. Some of them are really easy. Here we go.
Good.
In what British city was Phil Taylor born?
Stoke-on-Trent.
What month was he born in?
Oh, come on. Got a 12-1 chance. July.
Oh, close. August. What year was it?
Oh, God.
See, now these aren't the questions. Like the question was, what city was he born in? But I'm now bringing in some Matt style questions.
So I'm going to guess he's 65. Let's say 1960.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm just guessing he was about 65, and then I just worked it out. Yeah. Oh, wow.
What date?
Oh, microphone's gone.
Of course it has.
Well, we know it's
date?
August, so we'll go the 21st.
13th. Okay, right. But you got the actual question right. I just wanted to follow it up with some impossible,
Thanks.
Some impossible stuff. But you got the 1960. What is the lowest number that cannot be scored with one dart?
The lowest number has to be 23.
23.
Okay.
2 from 2. Who won the 2011 PDC World Darts Championship?
2011. I'm going to go... I mean, I should really go Phil, but I think that'd be too easy. So I'm going to go Barney. Was that
Adrian Lewis. And he was 2007.
Okay.
Who defeated Phil Taylor in the 2007 World Match Play?
It's not Larry Butler, is it?
No, Terry Jenkins. Question 5.
Hang on. Whoa. That wasn't the final then. That was just who beat him.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, because Terry Jenkins never won a major, so... right, okay. Yeah, that was a tough question, that.
Question 5. In what year was Phil Taylor born? So we'll ignore that one.
Yep, 1960.
The Bull Shooter World Championship Electronic Darts Tournament was held in which city?
Matt, right, you said some of that. That's just ridiculous. Like, you do this to me every week. Every week. The next one will be, and who lost in the second round with an 87.13 average? Like, yeah. What did he have in his... What did he have? How much money did he have in his wallet at the time? What did he have with his steak pie for lunch that day? This is an Edgar quiz, this. It starts off and I think, I might get some today. And then it's like, yeah, How much change did Phil Taylor have in his pocket in 1987 when he played Raymond van Barneveld in the third round of the Pro Tour that day? Like, it's just ridiculous, Matt. It's ridiculous. Las Vegas.
Chicago. Yeah, I mean, oh, some of these questions though. Phil Taylor is known as who?
The power.
John Lowe has won how many world championships?
Oh, I think it's 3.
3. I mean, some of these questions, they're so varied. How many darts can a player throw in one turn?
3. I thought it was a trick question then.
The Master of Ceremonies in the PDC was whom in 2004?
Oh, is it before John McDonald? I'm going to say John McDonald, but if it's not, is it not him?
No, it's Phil Jones.
No, I wouldn't have got that.
See what I mean about these questions? Like 1 minute they're like really easy, next they're hard. Because here you go, ready? Here you go. Who was the 2003 top-ranked US female player?
I know it. Is it Stacey Bromberg?
It is.
Yes! I know it because she won something. Did she win the Women's Worlds or the Women's Match Play or something?
Women's Match Play, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what is. That's weird why that's stuck in my head. No idea.
Wow. Okay.
I've done quite well there. I've done all right there, Matt.
Who was the first player from overseas to win the final?
Of what?
Says just the final. So we'll go with World Championship, maybe.
So is this BDO or PDC? If you can see the answer, you'll know which. You have to tell me whether it's BDO or PDC.
It's the same, really, isn't it?
World Championship, the first overseas winner. Stefan Lord?
John Part.
So it could be either. We're no wiser.
Oh, go on. I'll finish off with this question here.
Go on then.
What country is Paul Watton from?
Paul Watton? Never even heard of him. So I'm going to guess Finland.
Northern Ireland. If you do want to have a go at that quiz, guys, there are 250 questions and answers right there with varied levels of difficulty from a 2-year-old to nobody's got a clue. How much change did Phil Taylor have in his pocket?
Right, Matt. It's comments and emails. We didn't get through them all last week. There's loads of good questions here, so I'm going to get through as many as I can. I'm going to kick off with William Neal, who has said, a lot of players on the... This is a great one for you. A lot of players on the Challenge Tour are every bit as good as those at the bottom end of the Pro Tour. Now, if those players choose to, they could play the ADC, Modus, WDF, as well as the Challenge Tour, and potentially be better off financially than a low-end Pro Tour player. Is that correct?
Of course it is, yeah. But with that becomes more hours, more tournaments, more wins required. So, yeah, absolutely, they can be. But if you look at the win ratio that they have to achieve to get that same money, it's where the vary is. Are they as good as the players on the Pro Tour? That's a debate. That time will come. There's one of those, where you got that player being the top 64 for sure. That one will be in the top 64 for sure. But that's just comparing ability. Ability is one thing, but then there are personal, individual attributes that also need to be involved. When you think about why is this person not on the Pro Tour, but that person is in the top 64, but they average the same, it's because that person who's on the tour has a better mindset, has better preparation. They understand a lot more. There's a lot more that goes on in the mind, shall we say, than just throwing stats.
Okay. Willie Dines has said, Matt, how much of the money from Q School entry fees goes towards the running costs of PDC events, prize money, etc.? Or does the entry fee monies from Q School go to the PDPA to help provide various services?
The entry fee to Q School is a PDPA membership fee. It's not a PDC fee. You are paying your membership fee. So yeah, it's a membership fee to the PDPA.
Okay.
That's why back in the day, when you won your tour card, you was probably of the school where it was like £200 to play, but if you won it, you owed them money because
Got it.
or there was one year it's £400 to play, and all the winners got invoices. Congratulations, you owe us money.
Yeah. Dan BZ8ZC has said, it might sound like a stupid question, but when you win a tour card, you are then technically employed by the PDC and you pay tax on your winnings. First of all, is that correct?
No.
It's not, is it? They send you the full amount, don't they?
Yeah, that's completely no. They don't do that. So yeah, it's incorrect in the fact you are not employed by the PDC. You are an independent contractor of the PDC. Yes, you have all your restrictions, but you've got no contractual rights. You are a contractor to Matthew Edgar Darts or Matthew Edgar Limited or Matthew Edgar the Sole Trader. You are not under the PDC. It is you and you only.
Okay,
you are the company.
And then the second part of his question I quite like, because he's put, if you miss out on a tour card and you just do the challenge tour, you still have to pay tax.
Yeah. If you go to a local open and win prize money, you have to pay tax. If you do an exhibition, you have to pay tax. Tax is on anything.
I'm not sure you do. I'm not sure you do, Matt, if darts is not your job.
If you earn more than £1,000.
Oh, is that what it is? So if you go, well, again, is it not classed as gaming? Like if I go and play poker tonight and I win £1,000, I don't pay tax on it. It's gaming. It's classed as gaming. If I go and play in the Longridge Open tomorrow and win £1,000, should I be paying tax on it?
If you've earned money already this year, yeah, you need to declare that.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
interesting. Not that I'm planning on winning anything, but
that's absolutely the case. So, and this goes for everything. Even things like online selling. If you go on eBay now, Andy, right, and you're having a clear out in your house and you sell £1,500 worth of stuff, you'll have to declare that because you've gone over £1,000. So you could, you've got to be, it's all that individuality, and it's a mess. There'll be a lot of people fall foul of that.
Okay. Mike in Bath has sent us an email. And I don't
Why did you get out the Bath to send us an email? Who's listening to the podcast in the Bath? I bet he's got a really good speaker, hasn't he?
Do you know what? He's been complimentary of you as well, but I'm not going to read it. Yeah, no, I am. He loves the podcast, and he agrees with me on the Premier League. He thinks it's boring, and he agrees with you that the UK Open is the best tournament. He has an idea for the he thinks would be brilliant. Get all 128 tour card players and draw them into 64 random pairs. They then play a knockout where 64 people get through. They then randomly draw them into pairs again, and they play another knockout. So now you're down to 32 players, no seeds. They have a knockout, then a singles, those 32. I think it's as random as you like, but I quite like it for fun, Matt. But I think that would be difficult.
Yeah, I'm never keen on things like that, purely because for me, I want to see everyone perform at the best of their ability, and I want to see people showcased in an environment that allows them to do that. I think randomized draws with randomized pairs, I don't think will do that. You could get a very boisterous, only English-speaking player partner up with someone who doesn't even speak English, and I don't think that makes the best teams. So I don't think you'd get the best out of people. It'd be carnage and it'd be a great watch, but
perhaps wouldn't be as
Don't
good as
think
it
it would
sounds.
be to the benefit of the sport.
Right. Mark Jocelyn has been on, and he's saying, what's your guys' opinion regarding the huge equipment deal Litler has signed? We've spoken about that already in the pod. But he's then gone on to say, what is the standard length of contract, as I assume 10-year contracts probably aren't the norm? You're a good guy to probably answer this. What is a standard length contract?
Most will be about 3 years. Some will be 3 to 5 years. Now 5 to 10 is becoming quite the norm for a lot of people. I've just signed almost an indefinite contract with Mission. You know, it would have to take some form of complete change in direction or gross misconduct or something like that for one of us to want to break.
Yeah, you have to end up killing me, really. You know, if you said, right, I've had enough of you now, Cornwall. I'm pushing you off this bridge. That might get you sacked.
Yeah.
Or they might go, actually, no, you've done us a favour.
Couldn't you have done that sooner? There's your bonus. So yeah, there's it's becoming more as players are becoming more brands, not just let's put a logo on a shirt. There's a lot more that goes into it now. When you get a good one, you don't want to let them go. So yeah, I'm pretty much Mission forever, shall we say, in regards to.
That's what we like to hear, isn't it? And that's what the viewers like to hear too. Steve Maddock's been on. Steve loves the podcast, and he said looking forward to the year of content, and he loves the Rate My Throw series. And he said he's heard us saying on quite a lot of times that people are going to grab the next dart before they finished throwing the first or second dart, and this is causing their action to veer off to the left. And his question is, do we feel that is because amateur players are watching pro players throw really quickly on TV and they're trying to emulate them? It does seem, I did think about this and thought, you know what? People are throwing faster now than what they were 10 years ago. Definitely. So what's your thoughts on that? I think maybe people should just take a little bit longer.
I don't think there's one answer to this. That is potentially an answer. Another potential answer is people that are flicking at the dart with the finger. So instead of the hand coming out clean, you're flicking it with that finger, it's going to hook round. The other thing is if there's a twist rotation, contortion somewhere in the body, the tendency is to unravel that, and that is to roll with the shot. It could be things like if the elbow kicks out. So if the elbow kicks out, or you got that rotation in the shoulder, there's a tendency then to do that as part of the motion. People that play other sports, darts is an unnatural movement in the fact that I stand static and I throw and propel an object out. So if you've done any sort of throwing activities, boxing, anything that involves turning and rotating the body, the tendency will be, instead of throwing and straight out, you'll want to hook and loop that. So there's so many different, it could be the foot position, believe it or not. That's the most dominant reason. I'd say more than 50% of the time it is because the back foot is out of alignment, so it causes the weight to go over the lead hip. So there's many different reasons it could be. You couldn't say for definite that it's one more than the other without seeing, but there's a million different reasons there just to have a little look at.
There is indeed, and we've done a million videos on just those subjects, so please do check them out as well as hitting the subscribe button for this podcast today. I want to see those numbers go up this week. Matt, this time tomorrow, I'm going to be on my way to see you. We're going to be filming that new series of Rate Maki. I cannot wait. But for you guys listening and watching, we'll be back same time every Sunday at 7. We'll see you then.